What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. If you happen to be new here, hi. My name is Xanthia, I am 22 and I live on the Gold Coast. Welcome back to Vlogmas. I decided that I was going to give you guys a bookshelf tour because I literally just spent the last few days rearranging my room. And I've sorted out all my books, so why not? First and foremost, we've got The Games That Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This one I have not read yet, but I have heard fantastic things really. And she's just come out with the second one of this little, I don't know if it's going to be a series, but the second one of this book, which I am also hoping to have. These are my Adam Silvera books. I have not read these yet. I did start this one, but I haven't finished it, and I think I soft DNF'd it. But They Both Die at the End. I've got The First to Die at the End, and I have The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. I am hoping that I get a chance to read these probably in the new year, but these books have made so many people cry that I'm a little bit scared. These are the books that I have from Alex Astor. I've got Lightlark, I've got Nightbane, and I have Skyshade. The paperback of Skyshade actually not long got released, and I grabbed it as soon as I saw it on the shelves. But she's just come up with the fourth book, which is called Crown Tide, I think, and they have not got a paperback version yet, which I'm not annoyed at, but I also don't have a couple of her books. I think she has one called Summer in the City. I don't have that one yet, but one day. These are my books by Alex Moody. I have Rival Darling and I have Grumpy Darling. I don't want to say that this was her debut, but this is the first one that I've heard of her. And I saw it in the shops and I was like, oh my god, stop, ice hockey romance. Tell me less. And so I grabbed them. I also have quite a few Ali Hazelwood books, so I'll have to grab those like a couple at a time. But the first two that I have on my shelf are Not in Love and Deep End. I have not read either of these. They are on my TBR, but it'll more than likely be early next year that I end up reading these. They are beautiful though, look at that. I also have Bride and Mate. Bride is the first one of this little duology and Mate is the second one. I have not read these, but I have seen people reading this one now that it's out, and everyone has such good things to say that it does make me really want to read them as well. And then the last two Ali Hazelwood books that I have for the moment are Love on the Brain and Problematic Summer Romance. This one is the second most recent one that I got because it only came out not that long ago. It was earlier this year, but they're the last two Ali Hazelwood books that I have. This is the only Amber v. Nicole book that I have. It's called The Book of Azrael. It is the first book in the series. I think there are 4 at the moment, but it's an unfinished series and I'm pretty sure it's planned to be at least 7 long, which kind of scares me, but I do have some longer series. So the last books that I have on the top of this shelf is the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I've actually read all 4 of these and I did thoroughly enjoy them, but they're the only Anna Huang books that I have actually read. I've got the Striker and the Defender books. I don't know the name of this series, I'm not going to lie. Is it called Gods of the Game? I think that's what it's called, but I have these two. They are the only 2 in the series for now. I have not read them. I think this series is called the Kings of Sin series. I've got the first 5. The rest are not published yet, but I think there's going to be another 1 or 2 in there because we've still got, what is it, Gluttony. And I think there's another one. I don't know. And then I have these 4. These are the last Anna Huang books that I have. This is the If Love series. I have not read any of them, but I am very excited. I am so sorry, I'm going to butcher this name, but Andre Ackerman. I have Call Me By Your Name and I have Find Me. I've read this book so many times. This one is like a comfort read to me. It's really sad and I think I cry every single time. but I have not read Find Me yet. I'm pretty sure it follows on from Call Me By Your Name, but it's set like a little bit in the future. Also, side note, I do apologise if you hear any noise in the background. We've got some builders in doing some work at the moment. These are my Angie Thomas books. I only have the 2, but I read The Hate U Give when it came out, and I also watched it when the movie came out. I love it. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I really enjoyed the movie. I feel like, I don't know how to put things like that into words, but I really, really enjoyed it. I have not read On the Come Up yet, but I will get to it. I've got 4 of the Anne Liang books. I have I Am Not Jessica Chen. I have If You Could See the Sun. I Hope This Doesn't Find You, and Never Thought I'd End Up Here. I have not read any of them, but I've heard people saying that I'm Not Jessica Chen has made them cry, and books that make me cry just hit different, so I am also gonna get to these. I got this one for free at a local little like book swap thing. I handed in a couple of my books and I took this one. I have read these when they were on Wattpad. I have not read the actual physical book, but I do love One Direction, if you don't know, and I'm pretty sure these have changed to have, yeah, the names to be, yeah, this one's got Landon, but I love One Direction. And then this was another one that I got for free. I found it also at the same place. It's called Whiskey Charlie Foxtrot. I have never ever heard of this book, but I thought it sounded really cool, so I took it. I have a copy of The Time Traveler's Wife. I have seen the movie, but I have not read the book. However, I feel like this is sort of just like almost a literary classic. Like, everyone has read it, everyone talks about it, and yeah. For the time being, I only have 2 Avina St. Graves books. I have Skin of a Killer, and I have Skin of a Sinner, sorry, and I have Death's Obsession. All of the TikToks that I've seen about this book, I cannot wait to read it. I have I don't know what this series is called, but I have all of these Becca Mac books. I've got Consider Me, Play With Me, Unravel Me, Fall With Me, and Breathe With Me. Breathe With Me actually not long ago came out. I have not read these, but everyone is telling me that I really should, so I really should. These 2 are my Becky Albertalli books. I also have the original one of this, Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda, but I have Love, Simon and What If It's Us. This one is written by Becky and Adam Silvera. I started it, but I couldn't quite get through it. I think I am going to give it another attempt in the nearish future, but this book, the movie came out when I was like 13, and I was obsessed with it, and then I read the book and I became even more obsessed with it. This is my only Brooke Hardwick book. I'm pretty sure this is the only book she has at the moment, but it's called The Fog. I think it's like a suspense / thriller type of book, which is not really my type of read. Typically I will pick up a romance book more than this, but I was very interested in it, and I'm pretty sure she's an Australian author too, so why not support a fellow Aussie? These are my Bryn Weaver books. We've got Leather and Lark, Butcher and Blackbird, and Scythe and Sparrow, plus Tourist Season. Tourist Season actually just came out this past Halloween season. I have not read these yet. They are a comic dark romance, but I hear that there's some messed up stuff talked about in them. I have this copy of Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I'm actually kind of mad that they changed it. I think that this is such a cool cover. I like the look of the new cover, but I think this one is better in my opinion. But yeah, Brimstone is coming out soon. I don't know if it's already out or not, but I have not read it. It is on my TBR. I feel like that's just gonna take me so long to get through. on this shelf I have Zodiac Academy book 0.5, which is Origins of an Academy Body. And I have the first one. This one's called The Awakening. I have not read these. They are also on my TBR. I want to finish this one hopefully this month. Or next month, I don't know. Oh, but Xanthia, what are all of these books if you've just gone through them? They look different. Yeah, this shelf is double stacked. I don't have enough space for another shelf right now. And I don't have another shelf either. All of my bookshelves are full. So we are double stacking for the time being. Leave me alone. This is going to be a slow process. These are the next two Zodiac Academy books. This is The Awakening, but from the boys' perspective, and then this one's called Ruthless Fae. Then we have numbers 3 and 4, which is The Reckoning and Shadow Princess. We have book 5, 5.5 and 6. We've got Cursed Fates. We've got The Big Ass Party. And then we have Fated Throne. I'm so sorry if you can't see that. Book 7 of that series is called Heartless Sky, and then book 8 is called Sorrow and Starlight. And then we've got book 8.5, Beyond the Veil. We've got book 9, which is Restless Stars, and then I've also got Live and Let Lionel. I don't know if that one's book 10 or if it's like sort of separate. I have no idea. If anyone knows, please let me know. Then I have one of my favourite books ever. This one is called A Viper Heart by Cassidy Guest. She is a fellow Gold Coast based girlie, and this book made me cry so many times while I was reading it. I am obsessed. I recommend this book to literally everyone that I know. I also have a couple of Chris Hammer books. I've got Scrublands and The Tilt. I have not read these. I feel like they're not my typical choice of a book, but they sounded really interesting, so I was like, oh, I'll give them a shot. I also have The Valley and the Seven by Chris Hammer. Again, I thought they sounded interesting. And then the last Chris Hammer book, English, the last Chris Hammer book that I have is called Silver. Apparently this one is a TV show or a movie, I don't know. I've never heard of it, but the book sounded pretty cool. Now we're on to my favourite book series of all time, the Boys of Tommen series. This is book 1 and book 2. We've got Binding 13 and Keeping 13. Then we have book 3 and 4, which is the Sixes. So we've got Saving 6 and Redeeming 6. I wasn't as big of a fan of these as I was the 13s when I read them. I'm not saying I hated them, but I definitely have heard people that have rated them much higher than what I rated them. The last 2 books of this series for the time being is Taming 7 and the newest one, Releasing 10. I think that this one is my favourite so far. This one is Claire and Gibbsy's story, and I was obsessed with it. I literally could not put this one down. And then this one is Lizzie and Hugh. This one made me cry so many times, it felt like it was unfair. I also have quite a few Colleen Hoover books. You can't judge me. I spent money on them and then all this stuff happened. I have another author at least who, same thing, I'm not getting rid of books that I spent my money on just because of all the stuff that happened. These are the first ones. This is the next lot. I'm not going into detail with her because, you know, the less advertising the better, but those are the ones that I have. I might have some others on my other shelf. I have to get ready to go because I have class really, really soon. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Let's try to tackle this next shelf. As I said earlier, I do have more. These are the last few of this author. Then I have these 2 C.R. Jane books. I have The Pucking Wrong Number and The Pucking Wrong Guy. This is the first 2 in the series. I don't remember what the name of this series is though. Then I have this duet by Drea Dene. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. But we have Caged in Flames and Burn It Down. I've read Caged in Flames. It was such a good book, and I am going to read this one eventually. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. The next one I've got is Close Protection, my bad, by Eden Victoria. I have not read this one yet, but I thought that it sounded pretty cool. We then have these 3 by E.L. James. I do have the original trilogy. It's just at my partner's house. This one is the same as the first three, but it's from Christian's perspective. And also by E.L. James, I have the Mrs. and the Mr. This I think is a different series. Then I've got these three by L. Kennedy. I'm pretty sure this is the Briar U collection, but I've got the Charlie Method, the Dixon Rule, and the Graham Effect. I have not read any of these yet. I've also got the Off-Campus series by L. Kennedy. I also haven't read these yet, but all these books really are on my TBR. Then we move on to the Elsie Silver books. These are the Rose Hill series. There is a fourth book, but I don't have it just yet. I've got these ones, which are... I don't remember the name of this series, but this is also Elsie Silver. And then I've got this one. This is the Gold Rush Ranch series, I think is the name of it. Once again, Elsie Silver. I have not read these. Oh, I read the other ones though, Reckless and all of those. I can only hold this many at a time. There is one more that I'll show you in a minute, but this is the Never After series. So this is Hooked, Scarred, Wretched, Twisted, and Crossed in order. And then there's also, this one is I think the last one in the series. This one's called Hexed. I have not read this series yet, but I am super excited because it's basically like a spin-off of some of my favorite fairy tales. The next series that I have is by Frank Herbert. This one's the June series. So these two have been made into movies. This is the first and the second. Yes. And then I'm pretty sure there might be another movie coming out. I don't actually know. And these are the others that I have. I'm only missing one, which is... I don't remember what it's called, but I'm only missing one of these books. This is the only G.G. Sticks books that I have. This one's called I Will Break You. I have not read this one yet, but I have read one of her other ones called Taming Seraphine, and I did enjoy it. I didn't love it. It wasn't my favourite book, but I did enjoy it. Then, Gregory Maguire. I have the Wicked book. I don't know if this is like the original, but it's... you know, got the movie cover. And then I have Elfie, which I could be wrong, but this one only came out fairly recently. I don't know if it's a new story, but the book itself only came out fairly recently. Then I have the Swift Hat-Trick series by Hannah Cohen. This is also one that I haven't read, but it's an ice hockey romance, so say less. And then I've got the two novellas as well. And then more Hannah Cohen books. I have the Greatest Love series. Haven't read these, no clue what it's about, but I'm assuming it's probably very, very similar to the other series. I have all 5 of them. I have both Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I have not read these. I have heard so many things about them though, both good and bad, so I am excited to eventually read them myself. They're just so long. And for the time being, I only have 2 other HD Carlton books. I've got Does It Hurt and Where's Molly. There are a couple others that I have on my wish list on Amazon, but these are the only 2 that I have for now. I've got Honey by Isabel Banter. I don't know why I have this one. I have not heard anything about it. I don't remember what it's about, none of that, but I have it. Alright, I've got the Maze Runner books. I've got Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, and Death Cure. I have not read these, but I have seen the movies, and I loved the movies. They are like another comfort film to me, but I have the books. I will get around to reading all of these eventually. I have all 3 of the Jenna Lo Bianco books. I have Italian Marriage, I have Love and Rome, and I have Venetian Lessons in Rome. They're all Italian, but I haven't seen anything about what they're about, you know? Also, side note, I have all of these. These are like coffee table books, so if I ever have my own place, coffee table books. With these next ones, I want to make a disclaimer. I don't know which books are part of which series. All I know is that I have multiple series by this author, but these 4 I know are part of the Inheritance Games series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have heard a lot about these and I am very excited to eventually read them. I also have Games Untold. I don't know if this is part of that series. I don't know if this is a different series. There's also The Lovely and the Lost. I know this one is different, but I don't know if this is a part of a series or if this is like a standalone. So if you guys could tell me, that'd be great. I have the Greatest Game and Glorious Rivals books. I think this is a separate series to the other one, but again, who knows? And then I've got the Naturals series. This one I know is a separate series, but I don't exactly know what this one's about. I was told that it's sort of like Criminal Minds but different. I've got the 3 Summer I Turned Pretty books. I've got Summer I Turned Pretty, I've got It's Not Summer Without You, and I've got We'll Always Have Summer. This is one of my favourite TV shows. I think this might be my favourite TV show, but I haven't read the books yet. So I'm going to see how I compare it. I have these 2 Jessie 2 books. I have A Lonely Girl Is a Dangerous Thing and I have The Honey Eater. I don't know what either of these were about, but I thought they sounded really cool when I bought them and I haven't gotten around to reading them, so I don't know what the content is like. I have Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. I'm so sorry for butchering your name. But I have this one. This is the first of the series and I think there's at least 4 in the series. And then I also have Looking for Alaska by John Green. I got this copy for free from a free little library thing because people were just giving them away. And this book is another one of those like pretty well a classic type of books. The next book that is on my shelf, I have lent to a friend to read, so I don't actually physically have it. But this is the book. It is called I Sleep Naked, which, don't judge the title, it is a One Direction fanfic, as if they weren't in One Direction and they were just people. And it is probably my favourite book I have ever read. It started as fanfiction on Wattpad, and just like, I was so in love with this book that I had to have a physical copy when I found out that there was a physical copy. The next one I have is Phantasma and Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I have not read these. I know people that have read these and have told me that I need to read them, so I will, I promise, just not yet. I then have Dishonestly Yours by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I have not read it, but I will, I promise. I have The Rebel Witch and the Crimson Moth. Again, haven't read them, don't really know what they're about, but they sounded pretty cool. And then I have The Curse of the Seven by K.S. Eliot. She is another Gold Coast based girly. I read this book maybe only a few weeks ago now, I'm not gonna lie, and loved it. Loved the book. No comments, and pre-orders are open by now, but get yourself a copy of this book. Get yourself a copy of the second book in this duology, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if there'll be more, but there's going to be at least the second one. Do yourself a favour and get one, please. So I have this series, which is I think it's something about a billionaire, yeah, Dreamland Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. I have read some of her books. Some of my books that I own are actually currently at my partner's house. So some of these authors I have read other books for, and I don't have the full set here because some of them are there, but I don't remember which ones I have there. And I'm not going to drive over there while he's at work just to find my books. But I read the Dirty Air series, I think it's called. There's 4 of them. It's like Throttled, Wrecked or something like that. I read those 4 and I really liked them, so I got this series. I have not read this series yet. And then I have also got this one, this Lauren Asher series, which is the Lakefront Billionaires. So it's got Love Redesigned, Love Unwritten, and the newest one, which is Love Arranged. Haven't read them, but I am looking forward to if they are as good as the other one was. This next author, I am missing one of her books, but she also has another one coming out, so soon I'll be missing 2 of her books. She's another Gold Coast based author, but this is the books that I have from Lauren Jackson. So I have Break the Rules. I have read this one. I loved this one, which is what made me get more of her books. She has the second one of this series coming out very soon. This is the Stratton University series. And then I have Live For Me and Die For You. Other way around, Die For You and then Live For Me. This one I have not read, but I think I'm going to be doing that sometime this month. Especially because I have pre-ordered the Bookish and Spice editions of this book. And they are supposed to be arriving sometime soon. The next author I have is Lauren Kate. So I have Fallen and I have Torment. I think there's a movie called Fallen, and I think this is the same thing. Like, this was the book that movie was inspired by, but I could be wrong about that. But I have those two, and then I have these two, which I think is part of the same series, but it's Passion and Rapture, which, I mean, it's the same spine design, so I'm pretty sure they're the same series. The next one that I have is the Lauren Roberts books. So I have Powerless, I have Powerful, Reckless, Fearless, and the new one, which is Fearful. I have read these ones, but I haven't read this one yet. I will probably not get around to reading it for a little while, just because I have so much on my plate at the moment, but I did like the other ones, which is why I know that I will eventually read it, but it's not a priority right now. The Lila Sage books, these are the Rebel Blue Ranch books. So we've got, I think this is the first one, Done and Dusted. We've got Swift and Saddled, Lost and Lassoed, and Wild and Wrangled. I'm pretty sure this is the most recent one. And then I also have one more of her books, which I think is the only other one she has. I'm not gonna lie. But I have Soul Searching. This one was my book club book from a little while ago, and I really liked that book, so I definitely plan on reading the rest of her other ones. I have these two Lee Rivers books. I have Little Stranger, and I also have the other one of this duet called Little Liar, but my friend is reading that at the moment, so I will be getting that back soon, and then I'll be able to read it, because I have read Little Stranger, but I have not read Little Liar. I have Shoot Your Shot by Lexi LaFleur Brown, the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. I have read Mile High. I read that one on my Kindle, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit funny. I thought it was very engaging, and it inspired me to read the rest of the series, but I have not read the rest of the series yet, so I will definitely be doing a reread of that one. The next one that I have is L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. It's the My Dark Romeo books. I don't know if they had as an actual series name, but I have all three of those. I have L.J. Shen's Forbidden Love series. I think this one here just came out, The Handsome Devil, but I am very excited to get to read these ones. I don't know what this series is called. Sinners of Saint is what this series is called. So I got these 4 from Big W, and then realized that there was a novella that's sort of like a prequel. So this one is like 0.5, and then it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have not read them, but they sound very interesting. They sound like something that is right up my alley. Side note, more random books, I guess. I have the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, Charles Dickens supernatural short stories, and then heroic fantasy short stories. I don't know if this series has a name, but I have the Things We Never Got Over trilogy series. I don't know. I have them. I have not read them. They are fairly high up on my TBR, but they're not the highest of books that are on there. I've also got these 4. I've got Body in the Backyard, Blast from the Past, Corpse in the Closet, and Dead Guy Next Door. These 4 I'm pretty sure are the only 4 in this, and I could be wrong, but I think this is the Raleigh Thorn series by Lucy Score. I've got Story of My Life, which I think is a standalone, but I don't know. And then I've got Protecting What's Mine and Pretend You're Mine. This one I think has 3 in the series, but I'm missing the last one, which I'm pretty sure is called Finally Mine. The rest of my Lucy Score books, I don't know if they're in series together or not. I have No More Secrets, I have Fall Into Temptation and The Last Second Chance. And then I've also got By a Thread, which I think is a standalone. I have The Worst Best Man, which I'm pretty sure is a standalone. And then I have The Christmas Fix and Mr. Fixer Upper. I've got a whole stack here of Penguin classics. It started with The Great Gatsby, and then I've just slowly gotten these ones. These ones are also fairly classic ones. I've got Robin Hood, I've got Great Expectations, and a different Charles Dickens one, but I don't remember which one it is. I have The Song of Achilles and Circe by Madeline Miller. I have not read these yet, but everyone's saying that I need to at least read Circe. I've got Say You Swear, Promise Me Not, and Trust Me Always by Megan Brandy. I think these are a series together, but I don't know what the series is called. I've got a few Mia Sheridan books. So I've got Leo, which I have read. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I feel like I was a little bit confused. I've got Archer's Voice, and I've got Becoming Colder. I also have More Than Words, Travis, and Falling for Gage. I have not read any of the rest of those other than Leo, but I think they're all sort of a similar type of book. Not the same, obviously, but very similar. This one is called Bunny by Mona Awad. She's just come out with a second one called I Love You Bunny or something like that. I haven't read this one, but apparently it was really sad. I don't remember the context of this book. This one's a big stack, but I have Things I Wanted to Say, A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, Promises We Meant to Keep, I'll Always Be With You, You Said I Was Your Favorite, and then this one called Birthday Kisses. I think I also have one called, yes I do, there it is, New Year's Day, which these two are like novellas for this series. Haven't read any of this series, but I do need to. I've also got these 3, I don't know if these 3 are together, but I've got All My Kisses for You, Keep Me in Your Heart, and You Were Never Not Mine, also by Monica Murphy. I've got Playing to Win, Playing by the Rules, and Playing Hard to Get. This is a series, but I don't know what the series is called. Whoever knows what series they're called, honestly. Haven't read them, on my TBR, I'll get to them eventually. I have Once You're Mine by Morgan Bridges. I think this is the first book in like a mini series type of thing. It's called the Possessing Her series. Haven't read it, will one day. And I have Lights Out and Caught Up. These are both Nevessa Allen books. She has a third one called Game Over or Game On or something coming out, and it's green, and I am very excited to read it because I thought these books were so funny. These are the only 2 Neil Gaiman books that I have. I've got Norse Mythology and I've got American Gods. He also wrote another book that I know of, and it's a TV show, but I don't remember what it's called. I've got The Darkest Note by Nelia Alarcon. This is the first of the Redwood Kings books. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. I have not read this one yet, but I saw a TikTok about it and was like, oh my god, I need to read that. So now I have it. Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. This one's another one of those like classic, you have to read them type of books. Everything Everything. I watched the movie when it came out and I loved it. So I found the book the other day and I was like, huh, now I have it. I cannot say her name. Is it Olivia Blake? I don't know, but I have the Atlas 6 trilogy, and I've got January's as well. She does have a couple others that I want to read, but I will get them eventually. I haven't even read these ones yet. I haven't got a space for this one yet, and I'm in almost at the middle of reading it, but I have Alchemized, and then my book club book this month was Brain Damage by Frida McFadden, so I just finished that one within the last week and haven't decided if I want to keep it or not. I did actually really enjoy this one more than I thought I would. I'm not a huge thriller mystery type of person, but I don't know, I felt like once I got halfway in, I just could not put it down. And Alchemized is taking me a really long time to read, but I have also read like 400 pages, which is pretty standard for a normal book. This one is 1024 pages, so she's gonna take me a while to read. The last of the books that I have on this shelf is the Paisley Hope books, Riding the High, Training the Heart, and Holding the Reins. This is a series. I don't know if there's any more books other than this. I think there might be one more, but I don't know what the series is called. Second to last bookshelf, guys. I promise. I have the Falls Boys and Pirate Girls books by Penelope Douglas. I don't know what this series is called. It's the Devil's Night series. So I've got Corrupt, Hideaway, and Kill Switch. I've got Conclave. I've got Nightfall, and I've got Fire Night, which are the two novellas of that series. And then I also have a couple others. I've got Bully, I've got Punk 57, and then I've got Birthday Girl, I've got Credence, and I've got Five Brothers. I'm pretty sure she has a couple of other books as well, and I am slowly in the process of getting them. I've got the Penn Cole Kindred's Curse saga, so I've got Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame, and Heat of the Everflame. These are some big books though. I know they're just releasing the smaller, more standard size now, but I have these ones. I'm not getting another lot of them. I've got Unsteady and Unloved by Peyton Corinne. I have not read these, but she's coming out with a new one soon. I've seen people doing ARC reads for them, which is sort of making me very excited. I've got two Rachel Lippincott books. I've got 5 Feet Apart, which the movie broke my heart. I have not read the book yet. And then I've got Make My Wish Come True, which is Christmassy. I have Spark, Stray, and Shield by Rachel Craw. I read Spark when I was in grade 6. And I remember loving that book so much that I wanted to read the other two, but my school library only had those ones, which I'm a little bit annoyed about. Or I might have been grade 7 in high school. And then this one, it's a fairly new one from her. It's The Lost Saint. I have not read it. I do not know the content or the context of this book, but I like the author, so I'm gonna get the rest of the books. I've got the One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. Have not read this series yet either, but I will. I promise you I will. I have seen so many reviews on these two books, and the new special editions that they've just done are beautiful. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I have not read this, but so many people are like, oh my god, but then also so many people are like, no, I hated it. So, I don't know. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. I've got the Queen's Rising and Queen's Resistance. And then I've also got the Sisters of Sword and Song. I don't know if there's any more books, but those are all the ones that I have. And then these 3 books that I have now are kind of special. There is one that I'm missing. It's a set of 4, but these are the books by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. They're based on the Criminal Minds boys. They're called the Reynolds Protective Group, I think, unless that's the publishing company, but I don't think it is. But they are based on the Criminal Minds boys. So Archer is based on Aaron Hotchner. I don't remember who Hunter is based off of. There's another one that I don't have called Gunner. And then Ranger is based on Spencer Reed, who is my favourite. But I have not read them yet. Obviously I have the Fourth Wing series. I have all 3 of them. I'm so excited for eventually when the 4th book comes out. You have no idea. And then I didn't realize at first that she had so many books. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I sort of thought 4th Wing was her first, but I have Full Measures, I have Eyes Turn Skyward, I have Beyond What Is Given, Hallowed Ground, and The Reality of Everything, all by Rebecca Yarros. And then I also have Rebel. There's a couple that I am going to get. And then I have Girl in Love and Boy in Love, which is Rebecca Yarros and Jay Crownover. I have these 3 Rochelle Mead books. They're all from Vampire Academy, which I have seen the movie. I didn't like it, but as a early teen girl, it was fantastic. So I got Vampire Academy, Shadow Kiss, and Spirit Bound. And then I think this one's called the Legacy of the Gods series. But I have God of Malice, God of Pain, God of Wrath by Rena Kent. I have God of Ruin, God of Fury, and then I'm missing the 6th one, which again, eventually I will get. I have Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. This one is a separate series. I don't know what the series is called, but the 2nd one will be coming out soonish. I have this one called Blood and Ruin by Ruma Hale. This one is a series of 3 or 4 books, and it sounded really cool. It was recommended to me on TikTok. I have Icarus by Russell Andrews. This is another one that I found that I got for free. I don't remember where I got it though. These are the 3 Sarah Kate books that I have. I do have others. I don't remember what the series is called, but I have the Salicious Players Club, I think it's called. I've got those ones there at my partner's house. And then I've got Keep Me, I've got Gravity, and I've got Freefall here. These are my Sarah J Maas books. I have, hang on, what are these ones called? House of Earth and Blood. I have House of Sky and Breath, and I have House of Flame and Shadow. Have not read this series. Kind of scared to read this series because of how thick these books are. I've got the Akatar series. And then I've got the Throne of Glass series as well, so here's the first 4. I can't be bothered to pull the rest out, but I do have the whole series. The last 2 books I have on this shelf are Promises and Pomegranates and Vipers and Virtues, which is the Monster and Muses series by Sav R. Miller. We are back on my floor with the last shelf of books that I had. Now, these are my other 2 Sav R. Miller books. I've got Oaths and Omissions and Arrows and Apologies. I don't know if there's others of this series, so that's something I'll have to find out, but I'm pretty sure that there is. These ones might all be out of order, but I have the Scarlet St. Clair books. I have A Touch of Darkness, A Touch of Ruin, and A Touch of Malice. I have A Game of Fate. I have A Game of Retribution, A Game of Gods, and then I have A Touch of Chaos. I think these are all the same series. The other 2 Scarlet St. Clair books I have is Apples Dipped in Gold and Terror at the Gates. I don't know what this series is called, but I have these 4 Shane Rose books. I've got Between Commitment and Betrayal, Between Desire and Denial, Between Love and Loathing, and Between Never and Forever. I've also got this one. This one was recommended to me by TikTok as well. This one is called Wicked Opportunity. I cannot pronounce this author's name for the life of me. I will embarrass myself by trying. But this one has, I think, 2 other books. I only have the first one though. We then move on to Sierra Simone. I've got A Priest. I've got Midnight Mass. I have Sinner. And I have Saint. The only one I don't have is there's a novella called Georgia, which I can only find the Kindle version. And I would love to have the physical version because I'm pretty sure it sits right here, but I don't know where to find it. I also have these 4 Thorn Chapel books. I have no idea if there's more in this series, but we have A Lesson in Thorns, Feast of Sparks, Harvest of Sighs, and Door of Bruises. They are so pretty, and I think this is one of the next series that I'm putting on my TBR. And then I also have these ones. I've got Salt in the Wound, Salt Kiss, and Honeycut. I have not read these at all yet, but these are from the Lioness trilogy, I think. That must mean that there's a third book. If anyone knows what the third book is, let me know. The next author we're going to, I am aware of the whole drama accusations that surrounded her, but again, she is one of the ones that I've already spent my money on these books. I'm not gonna just destroy these books because of what was happening, okay? I don't agree with what happened. That's not my beliefs, but I'm not gonna waste my money. I do have a few others of her books, but they're my partner's place. After that, we've got Stephanie Garber. I have the Once Upon a Broken Heart series here. And then at my partner's house, I also have the Caraval series, but I haven't read either of them yet. This next series is very early 2000s, but I have the Twilight series. I am only of the original 4. I'm only missing Eclipse, but I have my eye on it. And then I also have Midnight Sun, and I have Life and Death, which is sort of like a spin-off, but by the same author. And there's a couple others from her that I do not have yet. I think this might be the only non-fiction book I own, other than obviously those display books that I have. I haven't read it yet, but I did start reading it when I first got it and then very quickly put it down. Of course, I have the Shadow Me series. This one is 2 of the novellas. This one is Destroy Me and Fracture Me, and then this one is Shadow Me and Reveal Me. These 2, and then I have these 2, which I think is part of the same universe, but like a slightly different thing. I don't actually know. Then we have the Tate James Hades books. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I also have some other Tate James books. I have the Liar, Fake, whatever those ones are called. And then this is the other Tate James one that I have. This one is a new series, I think. But this is the only book of this series that I have. Then I have a couple of Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I have Daisy Jones and the Six, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I have Forever Interrupted. And then I've also got Atmosphere. This one I got because I thought it looked really interesting. It's called The Fallen. It's by Thomas E. Snagowski. I have never ever heard of this series before, but I thought it sounded interesting. I've got The Other Brother by Tierney Page. She is also, I think, Australian. And there is the second one of this book coming out soon. I am waiting for it. Have not read this yet, but I'm super excited. I've got 1,000 Boy Kisses and 1,000 Broken Hearts by Tilly Cole. I have not read these either, and she has a couple of other books that I want to get eventually. Then I have Crave, Crush, and Covet by Tracy Wolfe. I don't know what the name of this series is called either, but this was the first one that I got of this series, and then I found out that it was a series. And I was like, well, I have to have them. I have not read them yet. And then these are the other 3. They are Court, Charm, and Cherish. And then the last books that I have is the first 3 of the 4 Divergent series books. A friend of mine works at QVD, and so I'm getting her to keep an eye out for the 4th one, which is called 4, but I want one that matches these books. I don't want a cover that looks different because I hate that. I just remembered that there's a book that I haven't shown you because it wasn't on my shelf, because it's my current read. We have A Stark View by Alexis Patton. I have these ones as well. I have the Plated Prisoner series. These are the last 2 books because these are the last 2 that I need to read. The rest of them I put back at my partner's house because I keep some of my books there. So I took the first one, read that, took the second one, put it back when I read it. You know, that's all my books. That's my bookshelf tour. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.